This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
The time is 8:45 p.m. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Here's the news edited by Lakshman Fonseca and read by Tilani Pires. The headlines. The Minister of Education says measures will be taken to speed up the process of school education. The Castle Street Hospital for Women reveals the birth rate in Sri Lanka is falling. The birth rate in Sri Lanka is now falling. Consultant physician Dr. Sanath Ranarol says birth rate is diminishing at the rate of 10,000 births annually. USAID Administrator Samantha Power is to engage in a 2-day official visit to Sri Lanka. The Colombo Stock Exchange decides to extend its trading hours. And on international news, pollution warnings are in place for more than 100 British beaches. The Minister of Education, Dr. Susil Premajanta, says he will take measures to speed up the process of school education, which was delayed in the recent past. He said the system had to run slowly due to the pandemic and other issues. He also added that the school education run in line with the international curricula and share its knowledge and experiences, for which there should be conceptual change. Speaking to the SLBC, the minister also said that the ministry is to minimize drug-addicted school children and measures are taken to carry out a search operation to take drug dealers who sell drugs to school children into custody. Special circular in this regard will be issued by next week, the minister added. The birth rate in Sri Lanka is now falling. Consultant physician of the Castle Street Hospital for Women, Dr. Sanath Ranarol, says the birth rate is diminishing at the rate of 10,000 births annually. He said about 0.3 million live babies are born in Sri Lanka annually. He added that they have found vitamin deficiency in pregnant mums had caused negatively for the child growth in pregnancy. The Castle Street Hospital for Women is the premier women's hospital in Sri Lanka. The hospital performs more than 16,000 deliveries per year. It also has one of the largest neonatal units in Sri Lanka. The administrator of the United States Agency for International Development, USAID, Samantha Power, is to engage in a 2-day official visit to Sri Lanka this week. Power is expected to arrive in the island on September 10th. She will be holding discussions with President Ranil Wickremesinghe and other government officials during her visit. The USAID administrator's visit comes after US Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen informed the Sri Lankan government that the United States, as a creditor nation, would participate in restructuring Sri Lanka's debt. The US Treasury Department, welcoming President Wickremesinghe's proposal for a coordination platform for Sri Lanka's official bilateral creditors, has urged engagement in this regard. The United States also pledged to continue to engage with their other government agencies as well as the World Bank and Asian Development Bank to assist the people of Sri Lanka. The Colombo Stock Exchange, CSE, has decided to extend its trading hours with effect from next Thursday. The decision was taken with the consultation of the Securities and Exchange Commission of Sri Lanka, SEC, and the stockbroking industry. Accordingly, the trading hours will be as follows. Pre-open session from 9:30 a.m. to 10 a.m., open auction at 10 a.m., regular trading commences at 10 a.m., and the share market closes at 12:30 p.m. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
Scan the Lanka QR code and make your payments with People's Pay mobile payment app from People's Bank.
The Minister of Power and Energy, Kanchana Wijasekara, requests COPA committee to carry out an investigation regarding the procurement process of coal. Minister Kanchana had made a written request from the COPA chairman, MP Harsha De Silva, in this regard. He said there were reports saying that there had been some illegal operations in the transaction. However, the minister said those who level allegations against the government with regard to the procurement process of coal should submit evidence first. The minister admitted that there is a small issue with regard to the purchase of order of coal, but expressed confidence that it will be solved within the next couple of days. There could be a delay in coal import, but will be sorted out after 15th October, the minister added. The second reading of the Social Security Contribution Levy Bill has been passed in Parliament with a majority of 81 votes. Announcing the results of the division, Speaker Mahinda Yapabewardena said a total of 91 parliamentarians had voted for the bill while 10 voted against. At the third reading or the committee stage of the bill, it was passed with amendments. The debate on the Social Security Contribution Levy Bill was taken up for debate in Parliament today. The Parliament has scheduled the Social Security Contribution Levy Bill for debate on September 8th. The bill was slated to be passed without a debate in Parliament on September 6th, as per a decision taken by the Committee on Parliamentary Business. However, National People's Party NPP leader MP Anurakumara Dissanayake and Samagi Jana Balawege SJB MP Dr. Harsha De Silva had requested the Speaker to take it up for debate, given the amendments have been submitted for the said bill. That ends local news for now.
Nobody looks for hotels like this. So why do you still pay with cash when you have People's Pay mobile app from People's Bank? Scan the Lanka QR code and make your payments with People's Pay mobile payment app from People's Bank.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
The birth rate in Sri Lanka is falling. Consultant physician Dr. Sanath Lanarol says it is diminishing at the rate of 10,000 births annually. He said about 0.3 million babies are born in Sri Lanka annually. He added that they have found vitamin deficiency in pregnant mums had caused negatively for the child growth in pregnancy. The Casa Street Hospital for Women is the premier women's hospital in Sri Lanka. The hospital performs more than 16,000 deliveries per year. It also has one of the largest neonatal units in Sri Lanka. That was the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
And on Watch Light tonight, Sri Lankan citizens and residents have been given a 1-month amnesty from August 15th to deposit or sell foreign currency in possession without questioning, Cabinet spokesperson, Mass Media Minister Dr. Bandula Gunawardena said. Accordingly, persons in or a resident in Sri Lanka who hold foreign currency notes in possession can deposit those currency notes into a personal foreign currency account or into a business currency account or sell to an authorized dealer. That came to you in Watchlight. Moving on with world news and the headlines first. Pollution warnings are in place for more than 100 British beaches. Finland is to increase flexibility with regard to travel document requirements. Switzerland's glaciers have lost more than half their volume. Pollution warnings are in place for more than 100 British beaches after untreated sewage was discharged into the sea. The warnings appear on the Safer Seas and Rivers service run by the charity Surfers Against Sewage SAS and are based on water firms' data. Discharge are allowed, for example, after heavy rainfall to stop the sewage system being overwhelmed. But there is mounting public anger at their impacts on rivers and beaches. SAS Chief Executive Hugo Taglam told the BBC that the discharges came after just the slightest hint of rain. He criticized the water companies' use of combined sewer overflows, which are designed to release sewage and rainwater in times of extreme heavy rain. The Minister of Interior of Finland has proposed that the country increases flexibility with regard to travel document requirements when issuing residence permits. The ministry noted while holding a foreigner's passport, a person could travel to their country of origin to obtain a national passport. Moreover, the ministry explains that the ability of applicants to prove their identity with a valid travel document is a basic condition for obtaining a residence permit. The ministry also noted that the inability to present a valid national passport has been an impediment in issuing a permit in some cases. Switzerland's glaciers have lost more than half their volume in less than 100 years, and the long hot summer this year has accelerated the thaw, a new study shows. The glaciers support ski resorts and attract climbers and hikers in summer, but are also essential to Europe's water supply. A new report reveals two glaciers, the Transfolen and the Sex Rogue, have split apart, revealing ground not seen for thousands of years. Visiting tourists can see from Eiger to Matterton and Mont Blanc. They could also, until recently, walk across miles of pristine blue glacier. Back to the world news headlines. Pollution warnings are in place for more than 100 British beaches. Finland is to increase flexibility with regard to travel documents requirements. Switzerland's glaciers have lost more than half their volume. That ends world news. Coming up, development news. The Department of Excise will net in 180 billion rupees revenue in the government treasury for 2022. The Commissioner General of Excise, J. Gunnesari, said that despite the C-19 pandemic, the department was able to provide 140 billion rupees to the government last year, and they're expecting to pass the 200 billion revenue mark this year. However, due to the fuel issues resulting from the lack of raw material ethanol in transport, the target had to be reduced. Drop in tourism also affected the profits, he added. That came to you in development news.
Sports News is brought to you by...
With many values that bind us beyond the transaction, we are Sampath Bank. We present your future.
The fastest way to earn the highest interest from NSB, now extended till the 30th of September just for you. Your short-term deposits receive an attractive interest rate of 20% in 3 months and 22% in 7 months. Visit a bank branch or a main postal office today. NSB, the only bank with 100% government guarantee.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Sports tennis. World number 1 Iga Swiatek continues her bid for a second Grand Slam of the season as part of Thursday's intriguing US Open Women's semi-final lineup. French Open champion Swiatek will take on Aryna Sabalenka, who is searching for a first major title after reaching the last 4 last year. The Pole is the only Grand Slam winner left in the women's draw. Wimbledon runner-up Ons Jabeur will take on the informed Caroline Garcia in the first semi-final. Frances Garcia is on a 13-match winning streak, having come through qualifying to clinch the Cincinnati Open title in the build-up to Flushing Meadows, but Jabeur leads their head-to-head 2-0. Swiatek has won a tour leading 50 matches this year and has made the semi-finals of every major bar Wimbledon in a stellar season. Both she and Belarusian opponent Sabalenka came through their quarter-final matches in straight sets as they aim for the first US Open title. That ends sports news. Continuing with business news, Elephant House, together with Clean Tech, recently partnered to operate another material recovery facility. A statement from the Elephant House said the move is to further promote recycling and better plastic waste management practices across the country. It added, located in the Western Province, this recyclable Plastic Collection Center is equipped with dedicated transport and service personnel to collect post-consumption recyclable plastic from collection points. The center will also have machinery investments to transform the collected plastic into value-added plastic waste supplied to the recyclers in the country. That came to you in Business News.
Business News, sponsored by...
The fastest way to earn the highest interest from NSB, now extended till the 30th of September just for you. Your short-term deposits receive an attractive interest rate of 20% in 3 months and 22% in 7 months. Visit a bank branch or a main postal office today. NSB, the only bank with 100% government guarantee.
And on economic news, the International Labour Organization ILO officially launched the Better Work Sri Lanka program in Sri Lanka recently. The Better Work Sri Lanka program launched to improve the working environment quality and competitiveness of the garment industry. The Minister of Labour and Foreign Employment, Manusha Nanayakkara, said the program includes developing the Sri Lankan garment industry proportionately with the global industry environment, establishing international standards and criteria including work environment. The minister added Sri Lanka is aiming to increase apparel export revenue to $8 billion in 2025 and provide 350,000 direct jobs and 750,000 indirect jobs. That ends economic news. Finally, the weather report. The Met Department says several spells of showers will occur in the western Sabaragamuwa and northwestern provinces and in Kandy, Nuwara, Galle and Matara districts. Strong winds about 50 kilometers per hour can be expected at times over the western slopes of the Central Hills, North and North Central provinces and Trincomalee district. The sea areas of the coast extending from Puttalam to Kankesanture via Mannar and from Hambantota to Pothuwil will be roughed at times. The sea areas of the coast extending from Puttalam to Hambantota via Colombo and Galle will be fairly rough at times. The other sea areas around the island may be moderate. That was the weather report, and now to end this news broadcast, the main points once again. The Minister of Education says measures will be taken to speed up the process of school education. The Castle Street Hospital for Women reveals birth rate in Sri Lanka is falling. The birth rate in Sri Lanka is now being falling, consultant physician Dr. Sanath Lanaral says. Birth rate is diminishing at the rate of 10,000 births annually. USAID Administrator Samantha Power is to engage in a 2-day official visit to Sri Lanka. The Colombo Stock Exchange decides to extend its trading hours. And on international news, pollution warnings are in place for more than 100 British beaches. That ends this news broadcast.